So they'll be calling you a radical. This is an important video. And so CNN, who covered up Fukushima more than anyone, we're on day 3500. It's actually 3501 in Japan, 3500 here, because it actually happened the 10th here. So on his 80th birthday, Lenin's. But CNN, this is headline story. Fukushima does not want, the fishermen of Fukushima do not want the water pushed in. Now remember, now stay with me, this is important that people, CNN covered up Fukushima harder than anyone. When Fukushima happened, the disaster, CNN was on boots on the ground. Anderson, Vanderbilt Cooper, and Sanjay Gupta, boots on the ground in Fukushima, Japan, reporting live. They're freaking out. I'll never forget Anderson Cooper freaking. He's going, they're like, oh my God, oh my God. Now the wind was blowing out for 6 days, pluming over us. I remember on the 6th day, Anderson, and they had this MIT Media Lab, this Walsh idiot, liar, propagandist on CNN. And I remember Anderson, should we get out? Should we get out? Because they were reporting the wind's going to change. Now the wind bloomed over us for 6 days. That's when they made, the wind shifted over Tokyo. That's when they made the decision to, you know, get water onto the cores. USS Reagan, freaking helicopters, any mains they had. Now the spent fuel pools blew to smithereens and plumed all over us. Obama was flown out of the country. You know, remember he did his report on day 6. I want you to know what I know, and he flew out. You know, and now we got Trump and a bee. This is important because a bee's dying right now. So I'm in Vienna usually this time of year. The head of the IAEA, who I had conversations with, Sandra smoked a cigarette with him and told him, you're crazy. You went to Fukushima, it's going to kill you. He died of cancer last year. So they pushed water on. So here's CNN today. Fishermen don't want, headline story, when they've covered up Fukushima harder than anyone. Now remember, on day 6, Anderson Cooper's on boots on the ground. Well, should we get out? Should we get out? Nothing was said. Next thing you know, you hear from a couple days. For, well, about a week. Oh, they got out. We're briefed to shut up and not say the word again. So Sanjay Gupta, MD, a practicing neurosurgeon, on the 25th of March, exactly 2 weeks to the day, when Liz Taylor died, did his show. Here we go. That's all you hear here, F-16s. He did his show. This is one of the worst propaganda nightmare. He should be in jail for this show. So he has this oncologist from Japan on his show, and she even used the 11-year-old's, you know, metaphor. We know about folding paper cranes, Sudoku, and even used the metaphor. Oh, I was so scared of it, you know, and then I found out radiation doesn't kill you, it helps. I'm like, oh my God, I'm watching it live. I'm like, oh no, oh no. So then they get this, remember this kid from Michigan? I'm an artist. Let's go to him. Yeah, I had rheumatic fever and I was laying in my bed in April of 1986, and all I heard was boogeyman, Chernobyl, 3 eyeballs, 3 eyeball boogeyman my whole life. So when I grew up, I was fascinated with it. I was always scared of it. So I went to Chernobyl. At Chernobyl, I found out there's nothing wrong there. It's all come back. And I'm like, oh my God, no. I went psycho. So my whole crowd, I was very in vogue then, you know, all over the world. Everybody went psycho as soon as I went psycho on it. And so they pulled the transcript down. I'm like, fuck, these guys are going to go to jail for this propaganda. So I screamed and yelled, you know, for years about this transcript. A couple years later, somebody that works inside CNN says, here, Kevin, here it is, and leaked it to me. And I posted it online. It's on my website right now, Blanche. So I put it everywhere and everything. And then nobody covered up Fukushima harder than CNN. Now, oh, the fishermen are going to say, don't dump it in the, please. They've been for 3,500 days today, they've been dumping it in. Look, the cores, they can't get near them. Their sons. Fucking, the tide pool's collapsing. Now we got wasting disease going on here in the mule deer. You know, it's all coincidence. The tide pool's collapsing. I mean, what? The jet stream's not real? The ocean currents aren't real? Then how the hell did we get coronavirus? How come you're scared of little invisible germs with a virus in the air, but you're not afraid of Fuktonium, as I call it? Oh, we're testing. You've seen that, you know, Bob Nichols does that great work on they crashed RadNet. Now, hear me. They took the RadNet ashes down and knocked it down right up there. Obama raised the limits 4 times. But guess what? Trump even went up the ante. He got rid of the legal limits. Trump's covered up Fukushima even harder than Obama. A bee's dying right now. Think about that one. So I mean, you're on, I mean, stay 3,500 and CNN's going to report? Are you kidding me? This is the greatest. It's not all coincidence. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're puzzled, they're stunned. Also, the salmon numbers. So I've been working on those. I'm sick. I've been really sick. I'm having a problem with my platelet count. I'm bleeding. I had a really nasty, horrible day. I'm having problems with my teeth. You know, I'm bleeding. I was out by when I came to the J. That's why I was so stressed out. I just barely tapped my arm, and I just bled profusely. I'm having trouble with my platelet count again, you know, and so this is an ongoing thing. I'm headed over to the hospital right now. I got some good juice in me this morning. I'm feeling a little bit better. But, you know, think about I stood right here. It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to give you leukemia. I got leukemia. You know, I was given too much to live 9 years ago this week. I went to the bone marrow transplant on 11/11/11. Think about that story. So, the salmon numbers, the tide pools collapse coincidence. The Fukushima fires, which is a plasma and a gas. We know it's a plasma and a gas that's coming off and they're rising up. It's getting into the trees, and the trees are drying out. It's drying. It's a heat bubble of the Western United States. That's all. First you hypothesize knowledge, then you do. I've done 9 years. I've proven all this. It's all unarguable proof. Oh, look at the radiation readings. By the way, the radiation readings in Idaho Falls, Idaho right now are the highest I've ever seen. They're off the hook. Well, guess what? Same with the birds dropping in freaking New Mexico. Guess what? Trump's testing SMRs there. The same one that blew up in Russia on 8 and killed the exact same one, new scale. They're being tested they would tell. No, they wouldn't. It's not a coincidence. These radiation readings, they crashed RadNet. They took down RadNet. Gina McCarthy was head of RadNet. Obama rewarded her by making her head of the EPA. They took down the radiation readings are off the fucking hook post Fukushima. Fucking, you know, I call it Fuktonium. It's not a coincidence. So the salmon numbers on the Columbia. Now stay with me. Record returns. They're all laughing at me. I says, no, you wait till 2016 on the Chinook. They go to sea for 5 years. Now the numbers on the Columbia are up to 500,000, 300,000. So, but stay with me. Remember. Now Tim Martin says they're lying. Now, Tim Martin's working every single tributary in Washington and Oregon. The numbers right now today on the Rogue up and down are down 95%. They're 5% of the 10-year mean. You heard me right. So the Chinook salmon collapsed on Q in 2016. They went from 1.7 million returning, clear down to 300,000. Now, stay with me. They stopped gill netting. So gill netting, and I've worked this with the most famous salmon guides, ODFW, WFW, all of them. Gill nets don't lie. They take out half the fish. So, okay, you got 530,000 returning Chinook, so you can cut that in half. 200, put my numbers dead on again. So we go from, they were hypothesizing 2.7 million. They had 1.7 million to, 200,000. You know, they still had the same thing. And Tim says they're lying on they still, the live cam's been out for 8 years. How convenient. So don't dump it into the ocean. They've been dumping it in the ocean, and that's exactly what all this death is. In fact, that's my hypothesis too, which I think it's pretty heavy evidence that COVID-19 is from the Fukushima disaster. Now think about it. Where did the COVID-19 come from? It came from a wet market. It came from a fish. It came from seafood. A bat swooped down, ate the seafood. They ate the bat. Bats have the supercharged immune system. Okay, where did the fish get it? The bat got it, the fish got it. Where did the fish get it? The fish was caught right there, off the coast of Fukushima, Japan. Now, I have the data. You go to my Blanche Schwartz website. It's right there. I put it right out there. Someone leaked me that KOA international study in June of 2011. Yes, including Bucketfuck Ken Buesler's names on it. It got leaked to me, and I put it out before the conclusion was even written, in the abstract. There were scientists from all over the world involved in this, and it's hush-hush. It's just top secret. In fact, I've been classified. Why do you think my view count's freaking so low? I will quote the KLK 19 freaking scientists from around the world off the coast of Fukushima, Japan in June of 2011. 3 sample sites at 40 kilometers off the coast of Fukushima. 25 kilometers down, 3 samples. One is twice the background level, which is enough to scare the shit out of you. The second sample, 50 times. Oh my God, no, no, no. Third, this is on the tracers. This is on the cesium. This is on the trinium. 1,000 times. And this is in June of 2011. It's been pulsating for 3,500 days. The conclusion finally comes out and they write, we conclude that the contamination from the cores, from the spent fuel pools is already into the water column and there's no turning it back. I've put it out there. I had the milk study from Cal Berkeley. Yes, there was a professor testing milk in the early days in Cal Berkeley. It leaked to me. I put that one out there. I put freaking, I put most of the what went on in the situation room out there. So it's all out there and I've done it. And thank you everybody who supported this historic work, but I'm tired and I'm not feeling well. Remember, I've been fighting cancer. Had my chest split open, having teeth issues. I'm having platelet count issues. I'm headed to the hospital right now. Feeling a little better today. I got to raise some money to get my teeth fixed. I've got to raise some money because I'm headed to DC. As long as the doctor will let me. I'm going to see I'm getting my blood works, my platelets so low, and then I see the oncologist on Monday. I see my heart doctor on Wednesday. I don't know what I'm gonna do about these teeth, but I get by with a little help from my friends. Happy 80th birthday to the great John Lennon, day 3500. So, what ironies, huh? So, CNN wants to say the fishermen are blocking dumping in it. Fuck that. We've done the math. Dana Dunford, myself, to have enough tanks to catch the water that's dumped onto it, you would have to have 10 billion tanks. They just push it into the ocean. By the way, the cores are in the ocean. The cores, which I call Delmar syndrome, Delmar, Argentina, syndrome. The cores are pushed down. Leslie Stahl, liar Lake Barrett, who's one of the greatest liars. He admitted to me he's a liar. So this is like going to the moon, fixing it. Way bigger than that. Where's it at? See those holes over there? Push it. So Livermore, California, bringing star power to Earth. By the way, that's where Kamala Harris's mom worked. Kamala Harris's mother worked at Livermore, and she was a epidemiologist research PhD who died of cancer in 2009. So all comes full circle. They can cover it up all they want, but there's no doubt in my mind that COVID is from the Fukushima disaster. That Great Salt Lake has gone acutely dry, which I predicted all this is going to cause a heat source, the jet stream. You're all afraid of little germs that can fly out of your air. Kevin Semmelweis in Vienna. You remember him? He's saying, oh, that's blasphemy. He was telling you need to wash your hands in childbirth. They didn't believe him. They beat him. They put him in a rubber room and beat him to death. And I should be in Vienna right now, but I can't get in. Of course, I don't have the money to right now anyway. But anyway, so it's crazy how this has played out. 3,500 days. How long must I sing this song? But I've put everything out there. It's out there. They put the brakes on my YouTube channel so people can't find me and whatever. But come on. I've had tens of millions of views. Everybody knows this. This is exactly what it is. It's not that complicated. They pushed this heat source, Livermore, California, bringing star power to Earth. Oh, they brought star power to Earth, 3 of them. John Holden inside the Situation Room, who's a nuclear physicist, plasma physicist. That's what it is. The sun can give you cancer from 93 million miles away. These 3 suns are 6,000 miles, pulsating into the Pacific Ocean all day, and it's hot, hot, hot. It is climate change. And I predicted it's going to cause a heat bubble over the western United States. It's going to make the Great Salt Lake go dry. We're going to get fucking actual atmospheric fires that catch fire, which all happen. The salmon are going to collapse on cue. Everybody laughed at me until 2016 when they collapsed. Tide pools, it's not coincidence. Coincidence doesn't get it in science. What I've done gets it in science. So, again, I'm not feeling well. So, I've got some good juice in me. I got to keep going. I didn't have a bone marrow transplant. It's important. So I will quote my doctor. I says, my goal in life is to never have another bone marrow biopsy. I've had 12 of them. Like the nights tomorrow. but it's canceled, which is a hallowed ceremony. We do this. I'll do it at my gig, probably right here. I can't do it anymore. I mean, as far as the bone marrow biopsy and the PET scans. So we made the decision a long time ago to just go blind. So, would I know it came back? Come on, there's signs. You know, I've been bleeding. Out there, this thing, I just bumped my arm and I bled profusely. So, of course I'm nervous. I'm always fucking nervous about this disease. Again, I didn't have a transplant. I have ML de novo, OS. I have a radical, crazy form of it. And so it's been right on my neck the whole time. My doctor felt that the transplant would kill me. I was that sick. And so I didn't have it. Now, will I have one day? I hope not. You know, one day at a time. So, Sanjay Gupta, CNN, the Fukushima cover-up kings. Anderson Cooper, Sanjay Gupta haven't mentioned a word about Fukushima. They said it literally meltdown Fukushima thousands of times the first 6 days. Thousands. And I know for a fact they were briefed because it's classified. It got classified in 2013. And that's Barbara Boxer, who's head of the committee's staffer, told me that. She told me, Kevin Blanche, you're classified. I said, that can't even be possible. But it's been proven to me that I am. Army Corps engineers told me I am. I mean, I've been told by people in very powerful positions that I am. So there you have it. I know it went on for a long time, but this is important on day 3500. Fisherman blocking, don't put the fleas. Fucking salmon are down 95%, tide are down 95%, anchovies and sardines, all acute. In science, we call that an outlier because it didn't happen gradually. It happened in a radical fucking place, so we call that an outlier. So we know something radically happened in 2011. Did a meteor hit? It's hard to figure. I mean, this is the most obvious science in the world, what I've done. This is obvious in the scars across my face. Kevin Blanche, and fuck. Here I am. Probably the most important scientist in fucking, since Semmelweis. Since Einstein. Einstein predicted all this. So, and I live in poverty, abject poverty. This is amazing to me. Get by a little help from my friend. Thank you, everybody, to support this historic work. You're very important people, every single one of you. Stay tuned.